Oh, there you have it. A wet day. Fog out there. That's not on the window in front of me out by those trees. It's fog. Interesting. Started sprinkling about 7 o'clock last night. At 34 degrees all night long. It was 36 a couple hours ago. Now we're up to 39. Little breeze. We actually got a little over a quarter-inch rain overnight. Things blowing around a bit. And that's mostly painted. We acquired some, I'm not even sure what they are. I don't think they're brass rods. I think they're something else. They work good for underneath stuff like this when you paint. I got one more coat to put on what I can get there. Then I'll just take a couple of bolts and stick through the holes down here so I don't get any on me, and just roll it up and set it down on top of those rods, and you only got 4 little tiny spots. Be just little ones there. If the paint's cured enough, you'll never even know that you had it setting on it. And that works pretty good. But usually I do this stuff on sawhorses. Yeah. They're still underneath that one. And anybody wondering, these are 3-foot sawhorses. Those over there are 4 foot long. But it's really not like I can get to those. I mean, I can, but I got to put all the rest of that crap someplace. So anyway, we're kind of on track to maybe getting it at least between the frame rails today. I hope. Still got to get some other stuff cleaned up, and this mount's going to take a little while. And I got to get the engine off of it before I can do anything with it. And it's just going to have to hang on the loader, because I really can't get in anywhere there very easily to clamp it down on the sawhorse. I mean, I can, but I'd have to use the vice grip clamps, and I'd just as soon have something a little solider. So anyway, and number one, I don't know where she went off to now, but she's here somewhere. She started cleaning up some of the parts off the old buggy. She had a bunch of, maybe she put them in the coffee can. Yep, there we go. Bunch of clamps and little door hinges, handles. She says, "Oh yeah, the bucket of soapy water stinks now." Well, yeah, all that stuff in there. I mean, some of it may have had some residue on it, but most of it shouldn't have. But either way, it's still going to stink. It's sat in there for 2 days. And she got this cleaned up fairly decent. Obviously, without a good solid plug on, a couple of those are leaking a little oil. And hopefully I find a good spot to put that, if we use that one. We may strip some stuff off that cotton picker for that. I don't know. So anyway, that's how our day's working up so far. Oh yeah, and she brought those. Like, I need those. I'm sure Ron will have a couple when he gets here. So with that, yep, I'm going to do some more painting and see if I can figure out what to do here. Fun. Hey, guess what? Yeah, my phone went back to auto on that. If I actually set it to fluorescent, the engine's red, just like I see it. It's only been dumping a little bit. Had the radio cranked way up just so we can hear it. Because of the way we're doing this, and the fact that that transmission ends up right between these, this wasn't wide enough for the transmission to fit. So, it's cut out more. Yeah, I got off a little bit on some of it. Tough. Near as I can tell, the transmission's really going to be right square between those. So, I was shooting for 16-inch hole or better in there. Leave plenty of room. Front mount is painted, ready to go in. I think what we're going to do, it may be after lunch. It's 11:30 now. And I still got a bunch of work to do on this one. Well, not a bunch. It's just a little time consuming. Because I got to cut off the corner of both top blocks, because that casting back here is where the flat is on an angle. So anyway, that's no big deal. And cut my access hole big enough we can get in with a socket and ratchet. But I think we're going to set her down in between and go ahead and get that front cross member mounted up to those two holes there. Set it on blocks so we can hopefully get underneath it with a jack. It should be close. And the way both mounts set, they're 1/4 inch too narrow to go on. I knew they were tight when they came off. They may have been built in place or whatever, I don't know. But that's just the way it's going to be. We're going to have to force them out to get them in and go from there. You know, if I knew where they had to be for sure and had them mounted on the frame, it'd be a whole different story. And see if I can do some more measuring before we get that far. Well, before we lift it. Because I'm hoping we can get the pump underneath the radiator. At least low enough that it'll clear it. So if we got to change the belt, we can slide it ahead that little bit. That's what I'm hoping for. And yeah, could raise the radiator, but the mounts only go up so high. It still might come up, I don't know. Just means drilling a couple holes. And that was such a fun thing getting that radiator in there. Yeah, you know. We can go up an inch easy. You'll only have to drill one hole. Or we can drill a couple holes and go up farther. I don't know. We'll see.
That is not fun.
Yeah, she says, no, it wasn't fun. Yeah, no kidding. But in the meantime, look, the floor's pretty well cleaned up now.
Look we have a bench.
We got a bench. A bench for the table. See, we got a table topper.
We got a double tier.
We need a really short dancer, though.
No. A midget, Dad? You need a midget?
And that stuff's all gone. Except for that drive line that's still laying here that I've tripped over about 4 times in the last couple days. And that scrap metal over there that was supposed to go back out on the pallet with the rest of the shelving stuff. Then she tells me she threw the air cans over here. Well, one of those air cans needs the clevis and the nuts and washers, and the fittings took off and thrown in the can, and the other one goes upstairs because we'll probably put 2 new ones on this just because. Then she wants to know where to put that. I can give her some ideas.
I can give you a few ideas too.
We'll see what happens here today. Oh, they want in, but they are so freaking wet. Blue's laying out there a little farther. I just held a donut by the window a couple minutes ago. And yeah, it was funny. And then there's the spoiled one. She's all wet too, because number 1 had her outside for a while. There's that rear motor mount. All nice and pretty. Got that access hole opened up so we can actually get a socket into it. And knocked the corner off the top one and threw some paint on those. And, oh, wait a minute. We're missing something. Well, we got Ron. Kids, don't do that. It's bad for you. That was full earlier. It's not now. That's on the sawhorses without something else. I'm not sure what to think about this. Really not. But y'all knew what the plan was, right? So, yeah, there's nothing in it. Is you around? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, and I figured this out. My camera is on automatic for light, so it shows orange. If I switch it to fluorescent, it actually looks the color that it is, but I'm too lazy to do that for you all. So there it sits. It is mounted to the front bracket. Near as I can tell, the pump will slip underneath the radiator fairly nicely, and it's probably going to be about the right distance because there's a cross member in the way to be able to get that bolt out right there for changing the belt. And oh, let's see, I could throw a tape on here quick. Only goes ahead about another 6 inches, I think. if I remember right. And right now it is 8.5 inches back from the cross member. It ain't gonna focus. Man, I need at least 3 inches, so I mean it can go ahead almost 6. I was just guessing the 6 off of where we're sitting out here with where that bracket was originally. Which brings us to the extra I had to cut off of here. Just for an arbitrary figure, I figured I wanted 16 inches between this side and that side just to make room. And I measured an 8 3/4, I think, and put a straight edge on and cut it, so it's a little over 8 3/4 is what's actually here. And you can see we're not going to have much of a drive line. It is literally going to be the slip yoke and the other yoke. That's literally what it's going to be. So it'll be enough because the engine's just got to wiggle. It's just got to be able to shorten it up enough to get it out. I will build that after the engine is in place. Probably do a little bit of head scratching on that. And that cross member's there, so this one doesn't have to be. Originally on this frame, they had plates on the outside that came up to right here. They actually plated from here almost back to the axle. And it had wheel booms. So right out here, out to about here. There's my finger. That's about where there was a ball, like a hitch ball for your trailer, to hook the support arm for the wheel boom to. That's why that was originally there, because it wants to pull the frame apart. Because you're, pulling, I think it was a 60-foot set of booms. And it was all pulling off this part of the frame, and that's not easy on anything. So anyway, that's more than enough. I'm still contemplating maybe moving the radiator a little bit. If I do it, I'm going to do it before I get the engine up in place. We may go up with it and might even set it forward a little bit. If I can go high enough with it, I don't really want to cut any more out here. But if I can go high enough with it, it can go up over. There we go. It can go up over that cross member, which will give us just easier access to the pump. I mean, it's not going to give us more room because the cross member is going to be in the way. But if I have to, I can always trim the cross member. That cross member, I'll run Ron over here. I mean, that cross member, I can cut part of the bottom out and still be fine. Not that I want to. And if I do that, I'd probably put another piece in farther forward. So that's way more than enough time. So say goodbye, Ron.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.